Have you ever considered how similar we are to trees? An unusual question perhaps, but as we delve deeper, you'll find striking parallels. Just like trees, we humans are a product of growth, nurtured by our environment and shaped by the elements that surround us. When a tree is planted, it's not much more than a seedling. It's vulnerable, susceptible to the harshness of the world. But with the right care, with the right nourishment, it grows, it strengthens, its roots dig deeper into the earth, providing stability. Its branches reach out, seeking the sun, growing leaves that breathe life into the world. The same can be said about us. We start as infants, vulnerable and dependent, but with love and care, we grow, we learn, we develop our roots, our values, our principles that ground us. We reach out with our branches, our actions, our relationships, touching the world around us. Now imagine this. A verse from Deuteronomy, interpreted by Jewish scholars, draws a line between fruit-bearing and non-fruit-bearing trees. This line, while seemingly about trees, is in fact a metaphor for us humans. We all have the potential to bear fruit, to contribute positively to the world. But to do so, we need the right conditions. We need nurturing. Just as a tree withers without sunlight or water, a human spirit can wither without kindness or understanding. We all have a role to play in ensuring that each one of us, like a tree, has the opportunity to bear fruit, to reach our full potential. So while the comparison may seem curious at first, it's not so far-fetched. Trees and humans, we're not so different after all. We grow, we adapt, we contribute, and in the process, we become integral parts of our respective ecosystems. Just as trees are an integral part of our ecosystem, we too play an important role in the world around us. What happens when a tree is cut down? And what does that mean for us as humans? Let's delve into an ancient biblical law that protects fruit trees during times of war. This law, found in Deuteronomy, has sparked profound reflections on ecology and the destruction of life. A tree is not merely a tree. It's a living entity, a provider of nourishment, a symbol of growth and resilience. To cut it down, particularly a fruit-bearing tree, is seen as an act of needless destruction. But how does this relate to us, you may wonder? Well, imagine each of us as a tree in the forest of life. Our actions, our decisions are like the branches we extend, the fruits we bear. When we make decisions that harm others or ourselves, it's akin to hacking off a branch or uprooting a tree. The consequences can be far-reaching, affecting not just the immediate environment, but the entire ecosystem. The law protecting fruit trees is more than an environmental directive. It's a metaphorical lesson about the ethical implications of our actions. It's about understanding that destruction often comes with a price that we, and sometimes others, have to pay. Let's consider a scenario. Imagine cutting down a fruit tree that serves as a food source for a community. The immediate impact is the loss of the tree, but the ripple effect is the loss of a sustenance source, the disturbance of the local ecosystem, and potentially the displacement of the community. Similarly, when we make decisions that harm ourselves or others, the immediate impact might seem limited to us or those directly involved. But the ripple effects can extend far beyond, affecting our relationships, our communities, and even our society. This law, then, is a reminder that our actions have weight, that they leave a mark. It's a call to consider the long-term effects of our decisions, to weigh the potential destruction against the possibility of growth, to choose actions that nurture rather than destroy. Just as destroying a tree has lasting impacts, our actions can have long-lasting effects. Are you a fruit-bearing tree or a non-fruit-bearing tree? Now that might seem like an odd question to ask a human being, but bear with me. This is a metaphor with deep roots. In the Deuteronomy verse, there's a distinction made between fruit-bearing and non-fruit-bearing trees. In the context of war, it was forbidden to cut down fruit-bearing trees, while non-fruit-bearing ones could be used for siege works. This distinction might seem purely practical at first glance, but when we dig deeper, we find profound philosophical implications. You see, this isn't just about trees. It's about us. It's about the kind of lives we choose to lead. So, let's put ourselves in the shoes, or rather the roots, of these trees. Are we fruit-bearing trees, or are we non-fruit-bearing trees? Are we producing good fruits, Or are we standing idle in the orchard of life? Are we contributing positively to our surroundings? Or are we merely existing? When we talk about fruits, we're not just referring to tangible outputs or achievements. No, the fruits we bear as humans can be as intangible as kindness, wisdom, love, or inspiration. These are the fruits that enrich our surroundings, that make the world a better place. On the contrary, standing idle doesn't necessarily mean doing nothing. Sometimes it's about what we're not doing. Are we neglecting to water the seeds of compassion within us? Are we failing to shed the light of understanding on those around us? Are we withholding the fruits of our experiences and lessons from those who could benefit from them? The choice of being a fruit-bearing tree means making the conscious decision to cultivate and share these fruits. It means choosing to enrich rather than deplete our surroundings. It's about being a source of sustenance and growth, not just for ourselves, but for those around us as well. So ask yourself again, are you a fruit-bearing tree or a non-fruit-bearing tree? Remember, like fruit-bearing trees, we too have the potential to contribute positively to our surroundings. Have you ever considered the impact of waste on our lives? It's a question that may seem simple on the surface, but when we truly delve into it, we uncover a wealth of wisdom and understanding. This is exactly what Jewish legal tradition does, extending the prohibition against wanton destruction to a broader prohibition against waste. This prohibition against waste is not just about physical resources. It's not just about not wasting water or food or energy. It's about a mindset, a way of living that values everything we have and sees the potential in everything around us. It's about seeing the world not as a collection of disposable items, but as a complex web of interconnected resources, each with its own value and purpose. In our daily lives, this prohibition against waste can be seen in how we use our time, how we use our talents, and how we interact with others. Every moment, every skill, every interaction is an opportunity to grow, to learn, to contribute. To waste these opportunities is to waste our potential, to deny ourselves the chance to be the best we can be. And this is where the metaphor of the tree becomes even more powerful. Just like a tree, we have the potential to grow, to bear fruit, to provide shade and shelter. But also like a tree, our potential can be wasted. We can become stagnant, unproductive, and ultimately a waste of the resources that have been invested in us. But the prohibition against waste gives us a different perspective. It encourages us to see the potential in ourselves and in others. It inspires us to strive for growth, for productivity, for contribution. It reminds us that we are not disposable, that our lives have value and purpose. Just as we should not waste a tree's potential, we should also strive to fully realize our own potential. That is the essence of the prohibition against waste. It's a call to action, a call to live our lives with purpose and intention, to make the most of what we have, and to be the best we can be. It's a call to be more like the tree, to grow, to bear fruit, and to contribute to the world around us. What can we learn from a tree? A profound question indeed. Trees, in their silent endurance, carry a wealth of wisdom waiting to be uncovered. They stand tall and firm, weathering storms and basking in the sunlight, offering us lessons in resilience, patience, and growth. Consider the resilience of a tree, how it withstands the harshest of conditions, from scorching summers to freezing winters, from droughts to floods. It does not crumble under the weight of adversity. Instead, it adapts and endures. Much like a tree, we too face hardships and trials in our lives, and it's in these moments we must remember the tree, standing tall against the winds of change, reminding us to hold on and endure, for this too shall pass. Then there's the lesson of patience. A tree does not grow overnight. It takes years, often decades, for a seed to transform into a towering giant. The tree does not rush this process. It simply waits, knowing that growth cannot be rushed. The same holds true for us. Real, meaningful growth takes time. It requires patience and the understanding that we cannot rush our journey. Just as a tree does not become a forest overnight, we too must patiently nurture our growth. And finally, the tree teaches us about growth itself. Every spring, it sprouts new leaves, reaching towards the sun, always growing, always evolving. Even the oldest, most ancient trees continue to grow, reminding us that growth is a lifelong process. We are not static beings, but beings in a constant state of evolution. We should embrace this growth, not fear it, for it is through growth that we truly come alive. Also, the tree does not grow for its own benefit alone. It provides shade for weary travelers, homes for countless creatures, and fruits that nourish the world. Its existence is a testament to the principle of giving, of contributing to the world beyond oneself. We too should strive to live in a way that benefits others, that contributes to the world beyond our own individual needs and desires. So next time you see a tree, take a moment to recognize the wisdom it holds. Embrace its teachings of resilience, patience, and growth. Remember that like a tree, you too are on a journey of growth. And just as a tree stands tall, providing shade and sustenance to those around it, you too have the capacity to stand tall and make a positive impact on the world around you. Like trees, we too can stand tall and firm, weathering the storms of life. Now that we've explored the many lessons that trees can teach us, how can we apply these lessons to our lives? The tree, in all its silent, steadfast glory, is a metaphorical mirror reflecting our human existence. Just as a tree stands tall, reaching towards the sky while rooted deeply in the earth, we too stand on the precipice of our potential, reaching for our dreams while grounded in our reality. The first lesson from our arboreal teachers is mindfulness. Just as a tree is conscious of its environment, reacting to the changing seasons and weather conditions, we too should be more aware of our actions and how they affect our surroundings. This means considering the consequences of our actions, both immediate and far-reaching. It means striving to make decisions that are kind, considerate, and beneficial to all. But how can we do this? Start by paying attention. Notice your thoughts, your words, your actions. Are they contributing positively to your life and the lives of others? Or are they causing harm or distress? Are you living in harmony with your environment? Or are you causing unnecessary destruction? Remember, every action has a ripple effect, and even the smallest pebble can create waves. Now let's consider the fruit-bearing aspect of the tree. Just as a tree bears fruit that benefits others, we too have the capacity to contribute positively to the world. This might mean sharing our talents, our knowledge, our resources, or our time. It might mean volunteering for a cause we believe in, mentoring someone who needs guidance, or simply being there for a friend in need. Think about your own fruits. What unique gifts do you have to offer? How can you use them to make a difference? Remember, every fruit we bear, every contribution we make, has the potential to plant a seed of change. The prohibition against waste is another lesson we can glean from the tree. Just as a tree utilizes every bit of energy and resources it receives, we too should strive to make the most of our potential. This means not squandering our time, our talents, or our opportunities. Ask yourself, are you living up to your full potential? Are you making the most of every moment, every opportunity? Are you taking steps towards personal growth and development? Or are you stuck in a rut of complacency? Just as a tree does not waste a single ray of sunshine or drop of rain, we should not waste a single moment of our precious lives. Finally, let's reflect on the tree's resilience. Despite harsh weather conditions, pests, and even human interference, a tree continues to grow, to thrive, to bear fruit. We too should strive for this level of resilience. Life will undoubtedly throw challenges our way, but like a tree, we have the capacity to withstand, to adapt, and to continue growing. Remember, like a tree, you too have the potential to grow, contribute, and make a difference. So go out there and live your life fully, just as a tree does. This is Enlighten Incline. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. Feel free to subscribe if you want more nurturing and soulful content in your life. Have a blessed day.